You know what? Screw this company. I'm just going to leave my truck at a truck stop and let them come find it. That's not a good thing to do, buddy. Like, let's talk about this. All right, let's talk about abandoning a truck, because I think that it's a good topic that we need to talk about. A lot of people don't think about abandoning a truck or what the repercussions will be for it. Now, whenever you join a company, say it's a mega carrier or a small company, you sign a contract with that company. And if you read the fine print, it tells you about abandoning a truck. How if you abandon a truck, you're going to be responsible for fees and stuff like that. So this is really not a good idea. Also, it goes on your DAC. That's your driver employment history and motor vehicle report. That's going to be like the history of your DOT accidents, any accidents you had, rollovers, different stuff like that. Non-preventable accidents, preventable accidents, where you parked in a truck stop and somebody hit you. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff on this DAC. And then when you're dealing with like some of these real big name companies, they're looking at this DAC report. And if they see this, that you abandoned a truck, you think they're going to trust you with giving you a truck and saying, hey, man, go for it? You think they're even going to give you the opportunity to speak out and let you know, hey, this is why I got rid of the truck. This is why I just left it on the side of the road, or left it in a truck stop, or left it at a shipper, or left it at a receiver, just got out and walked away. They're not going to give you opportunity like that. They're going to look at that DAC report and they're going to be like, whoa, we're not touching this guy. Some companies will touch you after, I think it's about 7 years is what I've read, that other companies will look into talking to you again after 7 years. But the reason people do this, that they just up and abandon their trucks, is because they're like, man, I'm fed up with my fleet manager. I'm fed up with the pay. I'm not getting as much. I feel like they're cheating me for pay. My truck's always breaking down. That piece of junk's always breaking down. You think it's going to make it back to the terminal to turn it in? You know, or medical. You got medical problems. So like, you're like, man, I can't get this truck back. You know, family issues. Maybe your loved ones, maybe your wife's like, I'm leaving you, bro. Like, I'm leaving you. And you're like, oh, I got to get a plane. Boom, fly home trying to fix stuff. You know, all this stuff is abandoning your truck. It's like, most common places people abandon their trucks are like truck stops. That's the most common place. And most of the time, if it's like a family issue or something like that, it's better off to have that good communications with your fleet manager. You know, you can talk to him. You can be like, hey, I got this going on. I got this going on, man. You know, I'm going to have to quit, but maybe I can go take care of some of the stuff and bring the truck back to you next week. I can get a load back, drop it off. A lot of companies will be willing to work with you. If that fleet manager's not willing to work with you, then go ahead and go above his head. Go to his supervisor, because, you know, fleet manager really doesn't have an investment in that truck like the company does. So if he's all like, man, I'm not going to help you get back to turning that truck. You're quitting anyways. Why do you think I'm going to help you? You need to go up the chain of command, because that truck is an investment, especially if it has like a trailer that's more of an investment, different stuff like this, like that. As you go to a company, in the contract that you sign, it says what you're responsible for and what happens if you abandon your truck. Read the fine print in your contracts. All of them are going to have it in there because they're covering themselves in the event that you do abandon it. And you're going to have to pay for all the stuff that goes wrong with it. So when you leave that truck in, we'll say, side of the road, because people do abandon them on the side of the road, or in the shop, or, you know, in truck stops, wherever you abandon it at. If it's parked in a place that it can get a ticket, you're going to be responsible for that ticket, of course. You know, if it gets towed, you're going to be responsible for paying for the tow. If it's needs some repairs, they're going to hit you for those repairs. They're going to, even worse than that, if you have a load in that trailer and say it needs that reefer to run, and that reefer ran out of fuel and it destroyed that load, they're going to charge you for that load. They're going to charge you for any damage that happens to that trailer. They're gonna charge you for every vandal. Like, people see an empty truck, they might vandalize it. They might spray paint the side of it. They even worse than that, they might break into it because they're all like, man, this dude just left this truck. Because in the truck stop, you got people watching you. They see you unloading all your stuff, putting it in your car. They know that you're abandoning that truck. They're all like, huh, I need a new starter for my truck, and that's the same truck. Or I need a new seat. I'm gonna go get that seat. Lots of stuff can happen to these trucks. Could you imagine if the truck got stolen? Like, you're looking at just the truck. We'll lowball it, $185,000, man. Like, boom, you just got that stolen. Like, trailer, probably another prices of trailers right now. Shoot, you could be looking at I don't know, $25,000 trailer, maybe even more than that, and a load inside it. You could be holding all kinds of products in there. So you really don't want to be abandoning these trucks, because you're going to be responsible for all this. And if you read your contract that you sign, it says that you're going to turn that truck in whenever you resign or you quit or whatever. So make sure that you did the research and found out where you need to take it. Most of the times with leasing a truck, you will take the truck back to where you leased it from. You know, if you leased it from a company, you're going to go back to that company with that truck. If you leased it from somebody else and you brought it to a company to work for, you're going to take it back to where you leased it from. If you're a company driver, you're going to be dropping that off at any approved terminal that your company has. So you will take it over there and drop it off there. I always say CYA. I'm a very paranoid person. So whenever I'm going to leave a trucking company, I'm going to make sure I have it in writing. Hey, sign off on this that I dropped this truck here. And I'm going to take pictures of it getting dropped off there. I'm going to take pictures of me. Like, I'm going to be like, here's the keys. Psh, give them to that person. So I'm going to cover myself by doing this. You know, and a lot of times, like, you may be going through some stuff like medically or whatever. You might be going through some things. If you're having trouble getting to the terminal or getting there, or maybe you got some stuff going on, if you get with your fleet manager, most of the time they will work with you. They will work with you to find you transport home if you need it. They will work with you with your timelines. Like, say, man, I'm gonna have to leave because, you know, I'm gonna have this surgery, you know, this is gonna happen. They're gonna be able to work with you on that timeline to get you back. And if they're not willing to, you can go to their supervisor, because at the end of the day, you don't want an abandoned truck to go on your DAC record. That is the last thing you can do that you need to happen. So this is what I say. No matter what, don't abandon a truck. I think that in trucking, I think that might be the worst thing that you could do to yourself. You know, I think that abandoning a truck is worse than failing a drug test. And the reason I say that is because if you fail a drug test, you can go take a class and you can get that removed from your CDL, like from your DAC report. You can get that removed. But what you cannot get removed is that you abandoned a truck. I don't even know if there's a way to appeal that a company put down that you abandoned your truck. You know, you're losing a lot of stuff with this DAC report, because think about it, whenever they look at that, the major companies are going to look at that hard, and they're going to be the ones that pay the most, because they're going to be the companies with like higher security clearance, higher, you know, higher reputation's the word I'm looking for. So they're going to have a higher reputation. They're going to be the better companies to work for. And they're going to look at that DAC before you even get there. They're not even, you going to put in your application, they're going to say, ooh, abandoned truck, trash. We ain't calling that dude up here. Now, the companies that are not recognized, that are not like major, really outstanding companies, they might give you opportunity, but is the pay going to be as good? Is the job security going to be as good? Is the equipment going to be as good? It's probably not. You know, a lot of the reasons people love to drop these trucks off, and they think that they're sticking it to the company that they work for. And the truth is, you're not really sticking it to the company you work for. You're hurting yourself. This is a self-harm thing that you're doing. You got to keep your head cool whenever it comes down to what's going to affect you. You got to keep a cool mind. You got to keep your head straight. Don't let this, we'll say fleet manager, don't let this fleet manager get to you and make you that angry. Don't let this man, I had a bad week. We all have been there. We all have had a bad week. We know that we can recover from that and we can move on. Like, don't get so angry. And, you know, from what I hear, a lot of these abandoned truck issues are for people that put in like their 2 weeks notice. They call their fleet manager. They're all like, hey, I'm going to put in my 2 weeks notice. And the fleet manager's all like, oh, okay, well, you know what? I don't need a 2 weeks notice. Just get your stuff cleared out the truck, go home. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. You know, if somebody told you that, say, I got to get this truck back, and then I'll take care of that. Also, if you're putting in a 2 weeks notice at a company, make sure that you have that in writing. Get that in writing. Hey, my end date is this date. This is the date I will have the truck here. Whether it has a load on it or it does not. Be firm with them. Like, tell them, hey, I don't care if I deliver at a customer and I don't have enough time to make it there, guess what? I'm going to drop this trailer. I will drive the truck all the way there. I will bobtail all the way there. I will drop the trailer at one of the drop yards or whatever, or I'm coming back empty. I'm not going to pick up that next load because I won't make it back in time. I'm just going to come in between these loads and I'm going to drive straight there, go straight there, turn in that truck, keep calm, handle your business, get it done. Make sure that you take pictures of you dropping off that truck. Make sure you get it all worked out. You know, if your issue's home time, like I've heard of this, people are all like, man, I was late for home time. That's it. That's the last straw. Last time I'm late for home time. I'm not even going back after this home time. And you're just going to leave the truck there? You're not going to take the truck back? It's not a good idea. Most of these situations are due to your temper. So what I'll tell you is that whenever you get angry, the only person it affects is you. So say you get angry about something going on at your job, you know, your career, something's going on in trucking that you're angry about, and you're super mad. You're going to abandon that truck. They don't care that you abandon the truck. Yeah, it's an inconvenience. They got to pay for a driver to go out there and get that truck. They have to pay for transportation to go out there and get it. All these new trucks pretty much have GPS in them. They're going to hit the GPS, bing, truck's there. We're going to go get it. So it's not that big of a deal for them. But the person that you're affecting whenever you're getting mad is yourself. So you're getting angry and you're going to leave a truck in a truck stop or side of the road or wherever, in the shop, whatever it may be. And you're all like, man, forget it. I'm going to go home and just leave it there. That anger has cost you pretty much a trucking career right there, or at least 7 years minimum. You're going to lose 7 years over being angry? It's not worth it. And then they're going to hit you with a bill for, you know, truck abandonment. They probably charge you $2,000 right there by itself, or $5,000 right there. Then they're going to charge you the cost of transportation to get it back up there, cost of the driver they sent down there, whether they send them in a plane, bus, whatever. They're going to charge you for that. They're going to charge you for getting that truck cleaned out for the next guy if you left anything in it. They're going to charge you for repairs. You know, you're going to cost yourself a lot of money just because of your anger. When at the end of the day, you could have kept a cool, calm head and say, you know what? I'm done with this company. I know I'm done. I'm going to get my next load over there to that terminal. I'm going to drop this truck off, and I'm calling the next company. And if you keep your head cool, the smart thing to do, because you got a cool, calm head, you can think now, get your next trucking job lined up, because you know what's going to happen is if you get your next trucking job lined up, you're all like, hey, I'm going to be in, we'll say that we're going to Springfield, Missouri, and I got to be in South Texas for my next trucking job. Most of the time, the trucking job you're going to is going to be able to get you transportation there. So when you drop off that truck, you get on that Greyhound or that plane or that rental car or whatever it takes to go down to Texas to get there. That next company's going to pay for you to get there. That's a win-win. If you go into that with a clear mind, you can win at the end of the day instead of losing by getting this on your DAC report. Don't abandon trucks, guys. Protect your CDL. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. And yeah, definitely subscribe. We got to get to that 3K subscribers. We are super close. So if you love this content that I put out on this channel, then make sure you click the next video right there. Also, if you want to check out some playlists I have right there. Don't forget, Thursday night lives, 7 p.m. Central Time. You can come ask your own questions and answers and get all the information you want. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, then go ahead and click that face right there.